Hello, Philip. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everybody.
Philip, thank you for agreeing to this interview. We love the way you capture photos, especially in Valhalla, where they look like actual paintings that they should be
How
in
is that
gallery.
the
At least that's
first
how I
game
feel.
that is mentioned? No, no.
It is. I know it's my favorite one from you. But okay. I knew this was gonna come up because you said you don't like it, right?
Yeah, maybe. There's nobody from Ubisoft here, right?
Not,
Okay.
not yet,
No, tell
but I will
us.
send it to them.
Okay. Never getting into the program.
But why but why dislike it and why take pictures of it, I guess.
I take pictures of it because it is very pretty, and I don't like proper dislike it. I just think it's very mediocre. Um,
Oh yeah.
and I
Okay.
don't like that it's like pretending it's going back to stuff for older AC fans, like the social stealth and all that stuff, when it doesn't work at all. Because like at least Odyssey was blatantly not for the older fans, right? They
Yeah.
just did not care. But
Yes.
Valhalla kind of pretends like it is.
For the Spartan kick.
Well, yeah. So that's kind of why I don't know, but the world is beautiful. The lighting is very nice. Um, and I've always had like a soft spot for the UK. So
We are pretty amazing here, yes.
On
shut up, Jack.
well, okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself and if you have any hobbies outside VP.
Well, hi, I'm Filip. I'm from Ljubljana, Slovenia, a small country right next to Italy and south of Austria. Um, I study video and new media art at our academy. Um, and in terms of hobbies, I guess I like cooking and like I like Lego and stuff and music. But who doesn't like music? I don't know.
Just true. You said you like
Of
Legos?
course, I like Legos. Legos are fantastic.
Oh, damn it. I wish we could show all the Legos in the comment section below that you've ever done. And your cooking, because I have seen your cooking and it looks
All
amazing.
right, I shared that at some point. I forgot about that.
You have. So, how'd you stumble upon VP in this community?
VP was a complete mistake. I think this may be a lie, but I think this is how it started. I was watching a Conan O'Brien video. I love Conan. And he used to do like a
Hmm.
series called Clueless Gamer, where he played the newest games. And he
Oh, yeah.
played Assassin's Creed Origins on that. And he, by mistake, entered God mode. So he turned invincible and stuff. And one of the guys there, Aaron Blayard, he said that he must have pressed both the sticks in. So I was trying to replicate that, and I opened the photo mode, I think.
Holy shit. The fact that that's a mistake and it's become so much more is really fucking good.
And like I found the video like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, this makes way too much sense. So yeah, this is what I'm going with. Um, so yeah, I was just trying to cheat in video games, and that's how I started taking photos.
Cheater!
But the community, I think I just saw people like posting stuff. I don't know, because like it was ages ago. So I started with Origins. That was in 2017. But my
Mhm.
PC was terrible. I could only run the game at like 720p and like all the graphics turned down, so it all looked like weird Play-Doh stuff. But I still liked the shots. And then I saw people
Mhm.
posting stuff, so I was like, oh yeah, maybe let's post a bit of this. And then I asked at Perpetual Sponge. I don't know if you know him. Like, because he was the first person I think that ever followed me. I was like, hey, can you help me out? And that's how I started, like with the community pages and hashtags and stuff like that.
Oh, so it trickled down that way. That's awesome. So, what's been your favorite memory of your VP journey so far?
I got this question in advance. It seemed very targeted. So my answer is coerced out of me. Nah, but like the first time I got featured by TPM, I remember that I was really buzzing about that because I got the DM. It was like, I don't know, 2020, 2021, I'm not sure. And I remember we had just gone for a walk and my signal was terrible, but I saw the message and I was like, oh, wow, I'm getting featured. That's insane. Then, yeah, of course, the Ubisoft contest. There you go. That's the coerced answer.
So ungrateful.
You're one, so what?
I mean, basically, I'm good. You know what? Like,
Didn't have a camera feature, a video feature of you at all, and the Ubisoft.
yeah, I mean,
award.
it's expected, isn't it? Like, I mean, look at my stuff, man. Like,
Oh my god. So with TPM, real quick, did you ever think you would get to know Jack the way you do now?
well, again, this was ages ago for me. I don't remember much of it. I was just kind of existing in the community. I don't know. I still am, and I don't even know how like Jack and I started talking and stuff. So no, but also I don't think I necessarily associated him with TPM. I think I more associated Ryan for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Jack just kind of leached onto me.
That's fucking great. So with this, what was your favorite part of the whole event, and how did you feel when you first found out? Did you think you'd win?
Well, I was at the cinema when I found out I won. We were watching Dune Part 2 with my brother and his girlfriend, and I like checked my notifications and saw the email, and I hugged my brother. So that's what happened. But
Oh,
before that, I mean, I was happy with my submissions. I was like, yeah, this is good. I think I might stand a chance, but like you never know, of course. And also, I was talking to Raven like the day we got told that we won, and she asked us had we gotten an email by Ubisoft. And I was like, "Oh man, I didn't get anything. That is like I didn't win." And then I see the email after the movie. I was like, "What? No way!" Because I was really all down because I didn't get a DM beforehand, and then the email was a surprise. So yeah, I don't know if I thought I'd win. It's cool.
it must have, you must have gotten all the butterflies and tinglies. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, couldn't complain.
Right. So this is Turret's question. How is Montreal?
Well, Montreal is lovely. I mean, it's a beautiful city. I was very lucky that it was Montreal because I have some family there, so I could stay way longer than what Ubisoft were paying for.
Holy
So I
shit.
stayed for 2 weeks. I took a bunch of photos, walked around a lot. If you want, you can go see my photos on my Instagram, maybe. Yeah, plug. Um, but also, I forgot to mention what the favorite part of the event was in the previous question.
Yes.
Well, just the whole studio tour and like spending the day with the Ubisoft people. It was great because everybody was just so nice, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just some random guy that you've flown out here, but yeah, okay, cool, be nice to me, thank you.
The way they were seeing you on video like that, I was like showing my coworker. I'm like, look, that's my friend.
That was insane. Yeah. To be fair, the video, I mean, it wasn't technically part of the event since it was so much after, but like being a small part of the pre-show, yeah, that was insane. Because like it shows, I mean, it's sick for me, but it's also sick for the community because it shows that they care enough to put it ahead of their like main event where they show some of the most anticipated stuff, you know, Star Wars, Assassin's Creed, and then there's me there. So yeah, it was sick.
You are the face of virtual protection. I think, and they got you to do like one of those green screen things, right? Or
Yeah, the
something like
motion
that.
capture. I was like, it was super hot. I was like, I don't want to do this. I've been here all day. I'm sweaty already. My photo mode unplugged t-shirt was all wet already. I don't know if I want to get into this, and everybody was like, "Yeah, you should." So of course I did, and I'm very happy I did because it was very funny. And like, I had some magnificent hips as my 3D models. So yeah, but I don't think you got to see that.
I loved I loved how your eyes were so like in awe the whole time, like, oh my god, I'm in here.
I mean, it's a huge building. There's so many people. They have so much like just awesome stuff. Did you know there's like 4.5k people employed at Ubisoft Montreal alone? Like
Holy crap.
No, holy
that's
shit.
so many people. Like of course I was in awe. It was sick.
Is that most of their workforce? Haven't they got like 15,000 worldwide?
They have around 20k, I think.
Oh,
But
God,
yeah, I
that's a
think
quarter
there's
of their workforce
yeah,
is in
it's
one office.
insane how many people there are there.
I wouldn't have even imagined that many people in a and so it was like busy in the buildings, people moving about.
Well, not really, because it's a huge building. It's like an old textile factory or something converted, and it's just
Okay.
enormous. It's like, I don't know, takes up a whole street in Ljubljana, basically. So, you know, I'm not used to stuff being that big. Everything is like nice and walking distance here. So,
You had to get them toned legs that day. So, does this win motivate you to do more contests?
well, of course, yeah. I mean, give me more stuff, please. But also, I've always kind of taken part because I remember, I mean, yeah, I started in 2017, but I didn't really do so much at the start. I wasn't that active. I started being more active with Valhalla. So
Mhm.
like late 2020. And I
Mhm.
was like taking part in the VPAs like the second year, I think. My shots were pretty shit, except for one of them. But like I didn't care. I was like, there's nothing to lose, you know. You enter, it costs you basically, I mean, nothing except for your time, you know. Like why wouldn't you? And we're so lucky that we get to enter contests that are free of charge because like in like film festivals are usually paid. Like a lot of photography contests that I've like checked out recently all have like a participation fee. So like the
Oh,
fact that
That's
we just
crazy.
get to participate in all this stuff for free, like why wouldn't you? Because you feel you were not good enough. Well, but you never know, you know. Like, did I know I was gonna go to Montreal? No. So you know, just participate, man.
oh, that's a good advice to people that are listening. Just fucking do it and see what
Yes,
happens.
basic. Like literally nothing to lose.
For real. And do you think your real world photography skills transfer to VP and vice versa?
Yeah, of course, both ways, I think.
Mm.
But actually, I think it was more VP to IRL because I started with VP earlier. I started, like I
Mm.
said, I'm gonna say it a billion times, 2017. But I started my real life stuff like 2 years ago, about. So not that long ago. And also, I was like, before I was just everybody else is taking photos. I'm not gonna take photos as well. Like everybody else has
Mhm.
got it covered. But then I think because of VP and because of what I'm studying, I was like, yeah, let's do this a bit more, and I really love it. So yeah.
Awesome. And what is the first thing that you more often than not find yourself doing upon photo mode?
Well, moving the camera. Um,
Oh my God.
What else?
No shit.
and zooming in. I like shots that are like have that perspective compression that you get with long lenses. So I like a lot of my shots you'll see are very zoomed in.
Oh, okay, yeah. And what standardized features or options would you add to a photo mode toolset? Which games would you consider as a gold standard for
Right? I
photo mode?
have notes on this. Um,
Mm.
yeah, time of day. I think basically all photo modes should have. I mean, I know it's not that easy to do in more linear games, but if you have an open world game that has a time and like a night and day cycle, it shouldn't be that hard. I assume. I'm not saying anything. I'm not a dev, but I think that like it just expands your possibilities as to the type of shots you can take, like drastically.
Especially with lighting, huh? Like
Yeah, I mean,
it
a
sets it up
scene
so
can come to
differently.
life just because you like, moved the sun, just because you moved the sun. Yep. As you
I
do
know, for real.
in real life, of course. I move the sun often, but Um, but yeah, also motion blur, I think, is one feature that we're missing a lot of the time. I think
So many games that should have motion blur.
yeah, I assume that one's quite hard to pull off because the games that do have it, it's a bit like sometimes. But I don't know.
And trying to do that like without photo mode and into like a different editing tool is it's at least for me it's
It is.
difficult. I've wanted to do that.
I don't even try it. I'm just like, I mean, but I'm not really taking many action shots or anything. It's all just, oh, look, a hill. I don't think a hill's gonna move it. Totally. About the gold standard, I don't know. I don't. There's a couple photo modes that have great features, like Spider-Man and like Jedi Survivor, that have the lights and all that, and so much freedom.
Mhm.
But also, I just prefer the AC photo mode to most stuff just because it's so easy to use, and I do most of my stuff in like most of the editing in post anyways, so I mostly just use the camera, zoom, and depth of field, because that I can't add. I mean, I could, but it's so like finicky to do it in post. The rest of it I do in post, but like I just like how simple it is, and I also really like one thing that pisses me off a lot of times is like zoom sliders. I like the fact that in AC you have buttons that control that, because like using
Yes.
the sliders and like scrolling through 50 different tabs to get to the zoom and the roll and all that stuff, it's just like, come on, let me do my thing, and I'll do the editing after, right? So yeah, that's it, I guess. So AC as a foundation, and like Spider-Man and Jedi Survivor in terms of features.
I actually agree with that photo mode with AC. I prefer AC's photo mode, and I think that's why it's one of my favorite ones to use because it's simple.
Yeah, it's literally point and shoot, isn't it? It's so simple to use. It's just so welcoming for anyone.
Yeah, and I think the depth of field system, I don't think there's anything more intuitive, like any other system that's as intuitive as, look, this is what I'm pointing at, focus on that, simple as.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I agree. And I know Odyssey gets shit on here, but
Boom.
I prefer Odyssey's depth of field a lot.
Oh, I quite like the way it looks in Origins, but the Origins photo mode is so bare bones that
Yeah.
it's a bit hard to get stuff done in that. But I really like the way the blurry stuff looks, the bokeh. Um,
Oh yeah.
it- I just think I don't know what they did with the Valhalla and Mirage, that they have that depth of field glitch. That's super annoying.
Oh,
Right. I have to like almost reset the game to do that. Fix it.
Yeah, so
yeah,
weird.
you have to load. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, going
And
back
I
to
don't know if
oh, sorry,
No, go for it, go for it.
sorry. Going back to when you said about linear games, it being difficult to change the time of day. Do you reckon they could implement a feature like they do in Uncharted Lost Legacy, where I think you could literally move the sun, couldn't you?
Oh, well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
But like the time of day basically stays the same, I assume. You just move
yeah.
where yeah, that would be cool. No Man's Sky also has that.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you move the sun wherever you want, basically.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Because I mean, you may not be able to get nighttime, but you'd be able to get like different mimic different times of day, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and also just getting the lighting you want on the characters, let's say, or like getting the shadows you need for like the depths and stuff. That's like
Yeah,
perfectly fine. Because basically, if you move the sun, you have a customizable light, basically.
yeah.
I think it's my favorite way to have light too, I think.
Yeah, it's
Natural,
nice and
yeah.
uniform. You don't have to like. It doesn't
Mhm.
look unnatural Like, because if you set up your lights by yourself, you quickly forget about small details, and that can like kind of betray that it's all artificial, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, what tips would you give on using editing tools for VP?
First of all, don't overdo it, because I think that's like the temptation we all have. Oh, I have a nice new editing program. Let's see what this baby can do, and just push everything, like all the sliders to extremes. And I think there's like a couple. I'd say most common mistakes people make is like pushing the contrast too far, pushing the saturation too far, and pushing the sharpness too far.
Yeah.
I mean, contrast, it just starts looking unnatural. Same with saturation. You got to know how to use them, how to make them look good. And in terms of sharpness, I mean, you can use it, but I feel like it just looks very artificial if you overdo it. And also, like sharpness, I think exists as a setting because when you're taking real world photography, there's so many like different factors that like affect the sharpness of your image, either your lens, the aperture, your shutter speed, how shaky you are, all that. And then you have sharpness in post, so you can kind of compensate for that. You don't have those issues in VP. The game is like sharp when you pause it, right? So like you're not gonna miss focus, you're not gonna shake when you're taking a photo, so you don't technically need it, right? So I wouldn't overdo that. But also another thing I'd tell people is just don't compare yourself to people who have done this for ages. You know, you're not going to have the same skill set that these people have in a day. You know, it takes time. It's a skill. It takes time to develop. I mean, same with just taking photos. I mean, like look at something. If you like it, try to replicate that. Maybe ask people how they did it. I'm pretty sure that they'd be happy to help. Except me, don't bother me, please. Uh, but like, yeah, don't compare yourself and don't get discouraged too easily. You know, trying stuff out is good.
That's a really good, heavy advice for even me. Because I used to sharpen the shit out of my pictures at one point.
I think a lot of
And
us
he-
have done it. Yeah.
And of course, colors, right? So I'm like, saturation!
Yeah, but you do it
And
nicely. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, but that took a while. Like you mentioned, like shit takes a while to figure
Yeah,
out.
of course.
And so what I do with colors is I pick on at least Lightroom. I pick the color option and I choose which I want to
Yeah, that's I think
like
the best way to do it.
saturate. I think so too because you're isolating that one thing, right?
Yeah, that's how I do it. And also like vibrance is a good like thing
Oh yes,
to play around with because it's not the same as saturation. And I think it kind of yields more natural results sometimes.
your pictures have a softness. Do you do that on
I
purpose?
do, yes. I mean, it depends on the photo. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes it looks weird and makes it a bit muddy. But I do really like that effect. Like gives a bit of a dreamy look, a bit of a concept arty brushstroke look, you know. So that's why I do it.
Yes, it does. And that's why I say like it looks like a painting because it seems like that's what you're going for. Something similar to that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, for sure, like in Valhalla and stuff, for sure that's what I'm going for because I find it captivating and it looks. I don't know. A painting just gives some weight to it. I guess like looks more dreamy and like fantasy like. But in other games, it's not usually what I do. It depends entirely on the thing I'm shooting. But I do it in my real world photography as well.
The softness
Yeah,
you're saying?
I
As well?
think it looks
Oh,
really
okay.
nice on like street photography and stuff. I mean, again, it doesn't work every time. This is also a thing that I add to the editing advice. Don't just do the same thing over and over because you think it works on everything. It doesn't. It's a case by case basis. You know, not everything works for every single shot. So be careful about that.
I agree. But with Spider-Man, I'm like, I can't really do the thing I've been doing uh, with all my other captures. I kind of have to switch it up a little bit with how I do pictures, so I agree with it's a case by case thing.
Yeah, and like games treat color differently as well, so you know, I mean, you
Mhm.
gotta adjust to everything. Yeah.
So, how much time do you give yourself to make a shot work before giving up and moving on with the shot?
I don't really have like a set time for this. Like if I feel it isn't working, I move on. Uh,
Mhm.
it like can take ages. It can be like super fast. I don't know. It has taken ages before I'm like, why am I still working on this? And I just leave. Um, but yeah, like I said, this one is also a case by case basis. I mean, sometimes you feel it, you know.
Right. Jack, do we have any comments?
We do indeed.
Go for
Let's
it.
have a look. We've got one from G, one from Pixel Focus.
So the same person, or
Yeah, I'm assuming the Pixel Focus is G. In the next year, what is an improvement that you would like to see within your virtual photography?
huh? Okay, moving on. I'll answer that later.
All right. One from G. What is the overall outcome that you would like to see for virtual photography as a whole?
Well, I think like recognition from the creator programs. That's one for sure. And more people being open to like more professional work, I guess. Like not just for companies and stuff, but like also reaching out to, let's say, YouTubers and stuff and doing like different thumbnails or stuff like that. These are all like avenues that we could all explore and see what works for us, like see how we can actually make this a bit more if we want to, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying everybody needs to be making money from this, but like if you do want to and if you spend like so much time in this, like why not, right? So
I've never thought
that I
about
think,
the YouTube route. That's quite.
I mean, they steal our stuff a lot, so you know.
Yeah, might as well get some money from it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, never actually thought about that before. All right. Yeah, just let me know when you want to answer Pixel Focus, their stuff.
Yeah, I'll have a think and I'll let you know.
Sorry. We've touched on this, but I'll ask anyway. What's the worst Assassin's Creed, and why is it Valhalla?
I mean,
We don't have to do. We don't have to.
I can say 3 if you want. Piss you off.
Get your dirty little mouth.
Valhalla is the worst because it's a bit bloated and it pretends that it's something that it is not. You know, that's
Yeah.
why.
Are you back, B?
I am here. Thank you for covering. So, what kind of style of AC game do you like, and is it open world or wait, more linear? I think you touched on that a little bit, right?
Well, yeah, AC has always been open world, though. I mean, it's just not had the RPG bloat, I guess. I prefer the shorter campaigns because I just get bored of games. I play something and like that's also one of the reasons I don't really shoot games while I'm playing them. I usually do stuff in free roam after. It's just because I'll get bored of it and I'll never finish it if I don't just play through it. Because in when I was playing Mirage for an example, you know, I was feeling myself losing interest towards the end. I was like, okay, let's stop taking shots. Let's finish this, and I'll take shots after, and that's how I do it. So I also prefer open world because of a purely VP reason that I have like all these spaces to explore for photography, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, in terms of campaigns, I just prefer the shorter, more, yeah, I guess linear stuff, though I like, let's say, the black box missions where you have different approaches to how you're assassinating the target and stuff like that. That's not particularly linear, but I think it's a really cool feature.
Mhm.
Um, So yeah, I guess a mix of both. I'm happy the RPG stuff is going, to be honest.
We'll see.
I have so many games that are RPG that I feel like have I just stopped playing finish it, but I'm too addicted.
Hang on, Bianca, you're breaking up,
But I your games.
turning into a robot.
Oh,
I still hear you, but I don't know how it's like on the audience end.
you hear me a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was working for a while. Too good to be true. We'll fix it whenever we do YouTube videos. But what were we talking about? Linear games, right? In terms of linear games, I agree with campaign. I think it's good just to get through with it. Not much or open world with campaign, but I only like it because of VP.
I mean, I understand why people like the long stuff. You know, you want to get the most for your money, right? You want to get the most hours out
Right.
of it, but I don't think hours is the metric that we should be using here.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like 90 quality hours, then I mean, everyone's
Yeah.
winning, aren't they? But if it's 90 kind of, you wished it had ended 60 hours ago, yeah, no one's winning.
I mean, literally Valhalla for me, I played that for like 100 hours before I was done. I was like, what is this, please?
Right. But you know, I don't want to keep playing a quest that's like the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when it becomes dull for the whole game, I think, or empty.
Soulless. So no, just
Right.
copy and paste. Ugh.
Oh, so we got a question from Malin.
Woo!
You seem to be a bit of a perfectionist that goes for quality over quantity. When you are doing a shot from a game, or when you are done shooting a game, how many of your shots would you say you're happy with?
Oh, well, I don't know about the perfectionist part because, like I said, I used to be shit, to put it lightly. I mean, like most of my stuff, I don't know. I think like I usually say late 2020 is when I started taking like decent stuff. So 5 years of utter garbage before that, and then the occasional, pearl. So, and I also like had a schedule and everything. I was like posting every weekday, and it was just trash posts all the time. But at least I was consistent trash. So, but yeah, so I don't know about the perfectionist bit, but in terms of how many shots I'm happy with, it's honestly not that bad. I think people would probably expect it to be worse. I'm usually happy with like a good half of the shots I take, just because I also give up on the stuff I don't like beforehand, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of like real world stuff, now that percentage is terribly low. I think it's like 0.5% or something. I remember on a trip I took like, I don't know, 5,000 photos, and
Christ.
and I was like happy with 20-ish maybe. But also my hands are terribly shaky, so I just put my camera on burst mode. So I'm sure that I have one in there that I'm happy with.
You'd think that the real life photography would translate very, very well to virtual photography, but it's not always the same.
Oh no, it's definitely
time.
not the same. I think like I get to do so much more cool stuff in VP than I do with my camera, and I like
Right, and the world just pauses,
yeah,
doesn't
it's
it?
so much easier, like, and I don't have to ask people permission if I can take their photo. It's perfect. Uh, and also like because I don't like talking to people, I don't ask for permission, and I just shoot birds instead. I don't have to ask them. So that's why, like, if you follow me on Instagram, there's a couple posts that are just birds. Um, and yeah, like the fact that it's like that it pauses is super, super helpful. because, like, let's say the Ubisoft shot, I could have never gotten if. I mean, maybe I could, because that's one of the things I think PMs should have, is
Mhm.
that, like, when you enter PM, you get access to, like, let's say the last 10 seconds of gameplay. That would be great. Like, so you could scroll through that and find the pose you want. Because on a camera, you can just hold down the shutter and it's gonna take like sequential photos, and you can pick one out of those. So it would be super useful if we could do something like that in virtual photography.
Yeah. Now we need someone to listen to us and give you some money for that, Philip.
I'm not a dev. If I developed a game, it would be utter garbage. Don't give me money for it.
By Aaron. You're not someone who posts regularly. What drives inspires you to dive into a game and capture it?
All the ones who came before, shots of the week. I just want to dethrone Jack and get more shots of the week. But no, I mean, I just like taking cool pictures. That's the ultimate goal. I don't really care about the rest of the stuff. I'm just like, ooh, pretty scene. Yeah, let's take a photo of this.
So, do you think, or would you say that you don't experience a burnout too much?
Oh, well, I used to when I had the schedule, I think. I don't know what I was burnt out about. The shots were terrible. But like right now, not really. I post when I feel like. I do still like kind of try and do weekdays, but like if I don't have something, I'm not gonna stress about it. I mean, like when I was in Canada and stuff, I didn't post anything. Like there was a month where I just did nothing on Twitter, and I don't really like get too stressed about all that. I'm like, if people are gonna want to see the shots after, they will. I'm pretty sure people stick around. So yeah.
Nice. It's a good balance that you have right there, though.
Well, I'm lucky that I don't
I-
give enough of a shit. Yes.
I think everybody should listen.
There's some proper life advice.
Take it. Don't gotta be so anal about it, you guys. So, what is the most challenging thing for you in virtual photography?
In terms of like the shot types, I'd say I don't do much portraits anymore. I used to do a lot of them, but now like I find it quite hard to get a compelling one. I mean, you can do, but it's I don't know. I just don't want to take the same like photo of a character that's been taken a million times before, right? I want to take a new compelling image, and I just don't try them. And also action shots. I think like every single guest has said that. But yeah, action shots I'm terrible at. I don't think I've taken a solid action shot in a while. So that, but in terms of like just virtual photography in general, I think getting stuck in a rut can be a thing. Like I said, with the editing, just trying the same things over and over again and not exploring new stuff. That I find kind of challenging sometimes.
I think with portraits, going back to that, I think if maybe photo mode has more expressions that aren't so fucking weird, I think people would probably
Yeah, but name one
like
that
to
does.
none of them. My favorite one is God of War. Kratos, totally.
He's just showing off the pearly whites, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. Or the kissy face. Ugh. So are there any games you are looking forward to capture and play?
To capturing, I hope Star Wars Outlaws has a photo mode. If not, I'm gonna beat John up. And in terms of playing, yeah, Outlaws and well, Shadows a bit, but I'm not that into like just in general. It's an RPG. It's not like I like the smaller games and like the more I don't know, like Middle Eastern settings. Like Mirage was very interesting for me and stuff like that. But of course, I'll play it. It's Assassin's Creed, right? And also, I'm looking forward to the Avatar DLCs. I think those, because like the world in that is insanely beautiful. So
I'm in love with that game so much. I haven't even continued with any other game. And I'm so behind because of Avatar.
it's so pretty, and like my PC kind of huffs and puffs its way through that game, but like it still looks gorgeous.
So, would you say like if there isn't a photo mode, do you use your tools like reshade and things like that?
Oh, let me think. Have I ever used exclusively tools? There is one game, and that is Tales of Kenzera Zhao. That's by Abu Bakr Salim. He played Bayek in AC Origins. So he
Oh,
directed
awesome.
his own game now, and I wanted to like take a couple shots in that. So so I used tools there. But other than that, I don't think I've ever used exclusively tools, because I think like photo modes are much more like user friendly, if that makes sense. Like they're made for everybody to be able to use them, right? So I like the foundation, and then like add features I don't have in the photo mode with the tools. That's usually what I do.
Because I have you took many pictures of Red Dead Redemption by chance?
Oh yeah, Red Dead was. I think Red Dead was like my second most posted game, but I haven't done any in like a while. I think the last time I captured Red Dead was like late 2020, but I used to do a
Wow.
bunch of them. Um, yeah, it's just, and like I said, I don't shoot it when I'm playing it, so I have like barely any photos of Arthur or stuff like that. It's all just John. Um, but yeah, it's just the fact that it's so long, and I find it a bit daunting to replay because I rarely replay games. I think I've replayed like 3 games in my life. So that's why I'm not really shooting it anymore. But I used to do a lot of it. It was like one of my favorites to capture, and I still, some of my favorite shots are from Red Dead.
Isn't it incredible that even to this day it's amazing?
Well, yeah, it's my favorite game probably. It's so good. Like, everybody go play it. Don't listen to me here. Just go on your console and play Red Dead.
OG still hasn't played it. I don't know if he's here, but he has to.
What fun.
Yeah, I mean, get out.
I get it though. I mean, because that's not a fast type of game. It's pretty
Yeah, and to
chill.
be honest, I think maybe I'm gonna get hate because you're not supposed to like criticize Red Dead in anything. It is a bit of an old, clunky game in terms of its gameplay. It is clear that it's
That's just the Rockstar. That's the Rockstar touch, though. That is, isn't it? All
yeah,
their
like
games are a bit.
but like the story and the world is so freaking great. Like you kind of just look over that, right?
Yeah.
It's the fact that you could go back each time and there's something different about it that you could
Oh
spot
yeah, and all the
with the
like
NPCs and stuff.
weird encounters you can have. It's just like I haven't found half the stuff you can do in that game because it's just so random.
Have you seen the ghosts?
I have not seen the ghosts.
Oh man, I one time I won't say where, but it scared me because like it was at night.
Well, duh, ghosts don't go around during the day.
Well, one did. If you go up the mountains,
Spoiler alert.
die. I can't. I would say where mountains. Oh, and like I don't know. I'm not gonna tell anyway. If you're gonna play, you mentioned there's 3 games that you've replayed, right? Which are they?
It was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I played that twice. Arkham Origins. I played that twice, and I replayed Assassin's Creed Origins on New Game Plus because I did like a uni project on it, so I replayed it for that.
You did a uni project.
Yeah, we had to do like a presentation on a modern like cultural work that we thought is worth people's time. So I decided to talk about Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh, wow. That's actually really amazing to hear.
Yeah, like I'm very lucky that I get to talk about Assassin's Creed at my like uni. You know, like my professor was really listening to me. She was like very interested. So you know,
Jack's really into the history of that game, aren't you, Jack?
Which one?
Origins?
Yeah, Origins. Origins is
oh
king.
yeah, don't sound too enthused, Jack.
Yeah, Origins is king, man.
Any other comments? Sure.
There are loads.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
Where are we? After spending a few years in BP already, this is from Tirid, could you imagine working in a job related to it?
Well, I don't know if I could imagine because I hear it's quite different than what we do, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
like I don't know, but I'd be super happy to give it a try. Like you know, I mean, like hire me as a freelancer or something. Yeah, please, thank you. If anybody's listening, give me money to take photos. Thank you. But I don't know. Like I'd have to try it out, of course. Like it's super easy to be like, yeah, I'd love to do this, or say like, yeah, I'd love to make movies and stuff, and then actually try it out and see that it's not what you expected. So I couldn't tell you really.
That's fair. We've got one from Rambo. Do you plan out your shots, or do you prefer to just go with the flow?
I don't think I've ever planned out a single shot. Maybe I remember I did because for the UB contest, you're not allowed to edit and stuff.
Yeah,
So I remember I retook some of them, but I don't know. Does that count as planning because it's just a remake of a shot I already had that was not planned before that? So I don't know. Maybe.
maybe. Yeah, no, yeah, I'd say planning.
If you say so, Mr. TPM.
God, which upcoming future titles, with or without a photo mode, are you really looking forward to? That's from Megaforce.
Yeah, I think, like I said, like Outlaws. I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars so much. So that for sure. Shut up, man. Get some taste. That I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to Slay the Spire 2. I don't think that if that gets a photo mode, I'd be very surprised since it's a card game. But what else? Because I think I had like some notes on the games I'm looking forward to. There's a small indie game that I really enjoy, and I played with Turd, Kingdom 2 Crowns. It's getting another DLC that I'm really looking forward to. And also, I don't remember if, well, I don't know if you remember, there was a Blade game announced. I think it was at the Game Awards. And that's headed by Arcane Studios. And I think that could be
Oh
really good.
yeah,
Because I
that'd be
love the Arcane like style, and I think it works really well with
with
Blade.
Blade.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's for adults, so it can be quite dark.
If Blade isn't
I
for
want it to be.
adults, I don't.
It's
Yeah,
supposed to be. It's supposed to be, right? Fucking movies.
yeah. I rewatched the first one the other day. When was it? 98 or something? Was it? That was so good. Absolutely brutal.
I don't know if anybody could take his place. If they do, they have big shoes.
Well, they cast somebody, Mahershala Ali, I think.
Yeah, from
Is
True Detective.
yeah, and he was in Green Book, and he was in
That's it.
Moonlight, I think. He's playing him, but like the script has been in like hell. I think it's been rewritten like 5 times, and it's
I think it's
changed
on.
directors like 5 times as
I
well.
was going to say it's on like its fourth director or something as well.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
I think it's going to be like another Venom type of movie.
It could be, but I mean, I haven't seen the first three, but I think those were like development hell as well. I think Wesley Snipes was very hard to work with. There's
Yeah.
a scene in there. I don't know which movie it is. Probably the third, where he's like laying on a like a bed or a table, and he's supposed to open his eyes, and he just refused to do it, so they CGI'd his eyes onto him.
What?
Like he refused
It
to
looks
open
fucking
his eyes.
weird.
That's the whole reason there's that shot, and it looks super weird as well.
That's so dumb.
You gotta show us how the picture looks of that too.
I'll look it up after. I'll put it in the comments.
Did we mention what are your favorite films and how do they influence your capture?
We have not mentioned that yet. My favorite films, like I said, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I'm gonna get hate for this. I really like the sequels, and I really like the way they look.
I love them too,
Okay,
dude.
cool. Safe space.
I love them. Yes, it is.
And also just love Rogue One. Rogue One is by far my favorite. It's so good.
Well, if you think about it, Star Wars in general is just corny. So it's
It is, yeah. But like the way the new ones are shot, they're just gorgeous films. I think, like visually, it's insanely pretty. I really love La La Land. That's one of my favorite films. I remember coming out of the cinema for that and being like, "Yeah, this is sick." And I put like I bought the soundtrack on CD and I played it for myself every day before going to school because I just loved it so much. And I really love Knives Out because I love these like whodunit mysteries and stuff like that. And I think it's a great love letter. So yeah, maybe I'm just Ryan Johnson fan, but but in terms of like movies influencing the way I shoot, I don't think they necessarily do, or like other media as well. It's just like I see a thing, I think it's cool. I don't want to do that type of thing. I just want my thing to also get the cool reaction, if that makes sense.
yes, it does.
It's not so much that I want to like work in a certain genre or like do a certain type of shot or something like that. Um, it is just eliciting the cool thing. But also there was a film in that our professor showed us at uni. I haven't seen the full thing. I think it was Ozu's Tokyo Story, and he showed us like shots from that film and how it's framed and like how it oftentimes cuts the frame with, well, let's say a wall or like a vertical line. I don't know, whatever that be, like a tree or well, probably not a tree. It's set inside, but like a door frame and stuff like that. So like playing with the aspect ratio while having like a wide aspect ratio but cutting it short, cutting it like more narrower like that. That is something that has influenced me a lot. You can see it a lot in my real world stuff. I tend to cut stuff off with, well, different types of framing, and I do a lot of framing in my virtual photography as well.
It makes sense because every time you post, I have a focus to what you're looking or what I think you're trying to show us, and everything is so framed beautifully with trees and things like that.
Okay, I'm very happy to hear that like my subjects are clear because I think that's like
It-
it's a very important thing, at least for me.
So this actually goes hand in hand with the Bits by Turret. As she says, does your field of study influence your VP? I guess it does, right?
Yeah, but because it's I'm going to an art academy, it's not a film school, right? It's like the field of study is very broad. It's not so focused, but it allows us to have our like own curiosity, and like that informs what I do more so than what we directly study at uni. But like yeah, like I said, the Tokyo Story, that's a direct thing that I like learned about, came into contact with um, through uni, and also like the first virtual photography project that was ever exhibited in like an art gallery. That's also something I mean, I kind of learned on my own, but also went more in depth for uni. So like stuff like that, I do come into contact with because of what I study.
And how long will it take you to finish?
So It's a 3+2 program, so 3 years for bachelor's and 2 extra years for a master's. I am like done with my degree basically. I'll get my degree in September. I've filmed my film. I wrote my thesis and stuff, and then there's 2 more years after that for the masters. But I also want to do like a cinematography masters as well, so maybe 3 more years.
Oh wow, that's amazing, and congratulations, dude.
Yeah, thank you for congratulating me for going to art school.
It is
You
big.
bombed.
Mr. Number One, no, Mr. Unemployable.
I hope you get all the big wins.
Well, I hope so too. Yeah.
Philip, I have a question. Did you where did you do the picture of your profile picture by
I
chance?
did it like 2 rooms away from where I am right now. I set up my camera and my lights because I have that stuff, you
Mhm.
know. Um,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, let's try and take a nice photo so I can use it for like my CV, and I can use it for like a LinkedIn if I ever make one, and like my Instagram and stuff, so that it looks professional, right? And I, of course, look, I'm not saying that's the end result that looks professional, right? But I tried a couple things, so that's how I ended up with the profile picture that I have now.
What it is to me is it's
Well,
memorable.
yeah, hope so.
It's
It's definitely memorable. Yeah.
fucking love it. So, do you have any more comments left?
I do, yeah. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Mhm.
Sorry. So this is from Keller88. How many shots do you usually take? Put regularly, so I don't know, over a month maybe, or if you play a certain game.
Well, I think that varies like a lot. I think anywhere between 5 and 10 per like a session, but a session is like a couple hours, and I only do like a VP session every like other week maybe.
Yeah,
So something like that. Because I don't know. I mean, a lot of the times I just go, nah, this is shit. Moving on. And also like I have to edit them after. I really enjoyed the editing, but it still takes some time, you know. So yeah, I'd say like probably closer to 10 because I have to fill up my posts. But
10 every 2 weeks.
yeah, maybe
Oh, wow.
on a good week. But like as you can see, I just repost stuff nowadays. I'm turning into you, Jack. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man, I repost it all the time
You've
though.
got to have
So,
it.
okay.
It's such a good way to
Introduce
just
people to your work, you know, like a lot of people have never seen it. I posted like this because I posted my PMA's like submissions and stuff, and I posted
yeah.
my indie submission. I've posted that shot like 2 or 3 times before, and I still get nice comments from people because they've never seen it. It's so easy to scroll past something, to just
And
miss
that's,
it, or like Twitter refreshes when you don't want it to. So
yeah.
just repost, you know, people are going to be happy to see it. I mean, don't post the same shit every day, but you know, like nothing, like no shame in reposting.
Yeah, especially every several months, you'll have new people look into your profile anyway, or look into the hashtags. I'm not sure how it
Well,
works
we don't all
nowadays.
have nearly 10K followers, Miss B, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. But yes, do you think? Oh, what games do you look forward to? I think we might have said that, but
We have
I guess in general.
Outlaws, Avatar DLCs, Slay the Spire 2. Yeah, big up Slay the Spire. It is my most played single player game. I think I have like over 200 hours in that, which is not a lot
Ooh.
for a lot of people. But like I have like nearly 1,000 hours in CS:GO. Then I have 200 hours in like Slay the Spire, and then I have around 100 hours in a couple of games, and that's it. I don't have that much.
And if you excluded VP and forget it for about a second, do you have a favorite game to play?
Slay the Spire, yeah, because I think
It's
yeah,
not
I mean,
okay.
Slay the Spire, it's a roguelike deck builder, so it's like different every single time, and the combinations in that game are insane. And like I said, I do kind of struggle with replaying games or like even finishing games. So like having a single game that I like playing that much is kind of hard for me to find.
And what is a hidden gem game for VP, and what game did you find to have far better photo mode than expected?
Hidden gems, I'd say Mad Max is very underrated because that game looks
Yeah, I
so
agree.
good.
Incredibly.
And like the photo mode is decent. I hate that like the way the settings are laid out because like you have the camera movement and the range is great, but like you have the camera movement and then you have like two tabs over you have the zoom and stuff,
Yeah.
and that pisses me off because you can't move the camera anymore after you've gotten to that tab. So you have to go back to the previous tab to move it again. And see, that's why I hate the sliders. And also, one thing that pisses me off in Mad Max is the terrible vignetting you get because there's no way to turn it off. I mean, it looks really good when you're playing the game, and like the skybox and like the dunes and all that stuff just looks fantastic. And I really like the explosions in that game because they look like handcrafted.
Yeah.
They do.
And like it's a game from 2015, so when we just started getting like PMs, and it's a better PM than some games have now, you know.
Oh yeah, 100%. To be fair, like you said about the skybox, man, I think that's probably still one of the best out there. It's incredible that it holds up like almost a decade later.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, man. Just gorgeous. And I think like I've said it before, I think like visually for me games peaked around that time because we had that game, we had the first Star Wars Battlefront that looked incredible.
Yeah.
We had Arkham Knight, I think is still one of the most visually impressive games. Shame about the PM being so shit, but you know, like The Order came out around then we had like Assassin's Creed Unity and Syndicate come out around that time. I think these are all gorgeous games. And also another game that I think is kind of underrated or maybe underrepresented is Immortals Phoenix Rising. I think that's a very pretty game, like very nicely stylized. The photo mode is basically the same as Assassin's Creed, just a bit better because it has facial expressions.
Yeah.
I don't know why that game gets them, but not normal Assassin's Creed.
Well, it didn't. It was the Odyssey team, wasn't it, that made Phoenix Rising? So we might actually get him in Shadows.
Yeah, one would hope, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
that'd be quite nice.
AC protagonists all look dead inside.
Oh, they're so dead inside, man. Soulless eyes. It's disgusting.
So yeah, I think these two games are a bit underrated. But wait, I had something else that I had. Right, which photo mode was better than I expected. I think the Gotham Knights photo mode is really nice. Like it,
Yes.
Gotham
yeah,
Knights?
it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good.
You don't see
Awesome.
much
Yeah.
of it, do you? You don't see many posts.
Not at all. And like I think it has lights, it has so many great features. It has like precision mode and stuff, which I think
Yeah.
every game should have. And like also the filters are some of the best I've seen because they're not just like stuff you can achieve with messing around in Lightroom or whatever like editing software you have. It is also just like it has particles and stuff that you can't really do. I mean, you can do, but like the filters are fantastic in that game. So I think that's also underrated.
And I don't think many filters and many photo modes live up to that.
Yeah. Most of them are really just over the top and just don't fit the game in general, do they?
Yeah, I mean, I
Right.
very rarely use them because I do like most of my editing in post. But like in that game, I actually did use them.
Is there any form of movies or creative media to mind that inspire you in some way that you shoot games?
Well, like I said, it's just
Right.
I see stuff, think it's cool, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do cool stuff as well. So I mean,
Mhm.
whether or not I succeed, that's up for discussion, but it's kind of what I try and do.
And do you think you'd make a lot? Did you think you'd make a lot of friends within this hobby? Has it impacted your life in any
Well,
way?
considering my like character, no. And also, I just, like I said, I kind of just exist in the community. I don't interact much. I'm like a lazy bastard that's just like, yeah, here's a photo. Now I'm gonna fuck off for the next day. Um, so no, not really, because I don't really. I mean, I talk to Jack, and I talk to. I mean, one thing that like really helped me in terms of like reaching out to people and stuff is people who stream. So Jack streams, Dot Pone used to stream, and Spiggy used to stream as well. And I made friends with Dot and Spiggy because I watched their streams and I just supported them there and I talked to them because it's such a like I don't sorry Jack, but I don't really watch the streams for your gameplay or the way you take shots. I'm there.
Dude. Yeah, no, no offense taken, mate. My streams are far from entertaining.
Well, when I'm there, they're very entertaining. But yeah, that's like I use the streams as like a more of a social gathering where I get to talk to people and like ask people questions, like discuss stuff with them. And like it's just more personal, you know, and it's more direct because you get like instant responses, right?
Right.
So that's how like with Dot we had a community that kind of formed around him. That's how I made a bunch of friends. Made friends with Spiggy. We made a bunch of friends on Jack's streams and stuff. Except for Jack, you know, he's still friendless. Um, but yeah, so and of course, like friends always in bed. I mean, always. It's nice to have friends. So yeah.
I think that's what's amazing about this whole thing that we're doing and what you're doing right now within this interview. And people will get to know who you are and also what you've
I
done.
don't think people want to know.
You say that, but there's people here listening to you who care about you.
Yeah. Hi.
And do you feel like you'd be a gamer as long as you'd be do you feel like as long as you are a gamer you'd be a VPer?
Well, no. I mean, right now it kind of seems like it's impossible for me to not do VP just because I enjoy it so much. I enjoy taking the photos. I enjoy editing the photos. I enjoy sharing the photos. So right now it seems impossible. But you know, before I was a VP, I was a gamer without being a VP. So clearly it is possible. So I won't say that I'm not ever gonna stop. But right now it kind of looks like it.
I think if there's always going to be a photo mode, it's just too addicting to stop. But people have.
Yeah, I find it like I find the people who just take photos for their own like sake, I find them very interesting. Because like even when I
Yeah.
started in Origins with my Play-Doh Origins in 720p, like even then I was bothering my friends. Look at the photo I took. Doesn't it look sick? And he was like, no, not really. And I was like, yeah, it does.
You don't know shit.
So I don't know. Like I don't know how people. I mean, it must be nice to just do things for your own soul, I guess.
I think so too. And especially when I look back at my shit, I'm like, wow, this is great. But then I'm like, what was it? I don't know. Do you feel like community pages helped you grow your following at the start of your VP journey?
Well, yeah, I think there's very few of us that can say that wasn't the case, like at all. I think, yeah, at the start, of course, because like I said, when I asked at Perpetual Sponge, He like introduced me to VGP. He introduced me to TPM, I think, as well. And like some of the community pages, and then after that I kind of discovered some of the stuff on my own. But like, yeah, of course they helped. But like I said, I'm terrible at interacting, so I like community themes and stuff I never really took part in, except for the ones who came before, but that's because they're friends and I want to dethrone Jack. But yeah, of course they helped.
And well, before we go on for the last question, do we have any more questions, Jack?
Ooh, I think Megaforce asked if you have played The Witcher.
I have played The Witcher. You featured a shot of mine from The Witcher, but I have
remember
not
that one.
finished The Witcher at all. I think I made it to Skellige and then I kind of stopped. Because basically what I did in The Witcher was just run around and look at merchants if they play Gwent with you. That's all I did. And then I tried playing the standalone Gwent, and it isn't the same. And I was like, "What is this bullshit?" And also, then you play against like actual people that can change up their strategy, unlike the people in the video game. And they're like, "Why am I so bad at this?" You know. Why am I always getting beaten? But yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I've played a bit of it after the Photomode update, but I don't think I've taken that many shots. And also to answer the pixel focus question, yeah, I wanna like the thing that I wanna change in my VP like in the following year. I'd say it's just trying more different things. Because like I like my Valhalla stuff and all that, but it does kind of like follow a certain pattern of the type of shot I take. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it would be nice to try something else as well.
Getting out of your comfort zone a bit.
Yeah, talking to people.
Now, before we ask this one question, if anybody wants to talk to Philip, this is your time. He's charming. He'll bite you a little bit, but it's okay.
That is slander. She lives in America. I'm from Europe, so she doesn't know. No.
So just press the request button and we'll get to you. But for now, we'll ask, do you have any advice for those struggling with VP?
Just give up. No, I'm sorry. I mean, well, clearly don't do what I just said. Yeah. Like keep trying, and like I said, reach out to people. You know, people are more than happy to help. Not me again. Leave me alone. But you know, but like
you have to bother them.
I'll close my DMs. It's only like sex bots, anyways. So. But yeah, like reach out. People are perfectly happy to help. People are perfectly like I'm not speaking for everybody. Like people can tell you to fuck off, but like people are happy to talk to you as well. And like join in the streams and stuff. I think that's a very good way to like actually talk to people and see other people's process and stuff.
Right. That's awesome. Thank you, Philip.
You're very welcome. I am fantastic.
You are fantastic. Okay.
We have, some bum wants to speak. Let's approve it. It is Spirit.
I would never guess that.
Surprise! Can you all hear me?
We can, yes.
That's
Hello,
good. Good. Hello. Yeah, as usual. Well done, guys. It was very nice, and I was hoping to get some Philip and Jack pillow talk, and I was not disappointed.
Can you take away her speaker?
Yeah, I can definitely mute her.
No, I wanted to ask Philip if you could or like, what would your perfect video game look like? Like, what genre would it be? In which time period would it play, and what would it be about?
Batman Arkham Origins, or like I love that game so much. I love Christmas and I love Batman, and it's snowy in that game, so it's very pretty. I think like honestly, I don't think I don't think there's any series that's that old that holds up as well as the Arkham games. Like, they're still playable, they're still fun, stories are still good. The visuals, I mean, from the first two games, they like look a bit old. Origins looks a bit old as well, but Arkham Knight, like I said, looks insanely good. So yeah, Arkham Origins is kind of like my perfect game, I'd say. But also, like, VPRT, I think, asked a very similar question today. So if you had unlimited budget, what AAA game would you make? I would make a Bayek sequel like immediately.
Yes.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yes,
Mhm.
Philip.
I hope
Star
that
Trek.
answers your question.
You did. Thank you very much.
See you later, guys. Love you. See you.
Right. I think
And
we're about done, aren't we? Just checking
looks
if there's
like
any
it.
more questions. Eclipse Fantasy said, "Thank you, Philip. I will quit."
See, I'm full of wisdom.
You're very wisdomness.
Give less fucks and quit. There, if we take anything away from this evening's,
I mean, it sounds like solid
I-
advice to me, you know.
I do agree though. If people didn't take it so hard, take it too hard, I think they would enjoy VP a lot more though.
yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. Thank you, Philip, for joining
Thank you
us
very much.
today.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Like I said, I am fantastic.
Yeah, we know you got a busy schedule. You're a busy man.
Yeah, like I've got a couch that needs laying on, so
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, there's Pixel Focus that we got to join.
oh, that is
You
true.
gotta
Yeah,
help us.
everybody go
course.
listen to that. It's Cynthia today.
Let's go ahead and share that too. Okay, you guys. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you.
See you later, guys. Thanks for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.